So, dear students, good evening and warm welcome to this student development program in collaboration with Maladi University. So, we'll wait for 2-3 minutes and sharp at 7:05. So, our trainer Umar sir will be starting the session. So, meanwhile, if your friends, your colleagues, your team members not join, so please ask them to join. So, we'll be starting the session very soon. Thank you.
Yes, Amar sir, should we start?
Yes, sir. You can start. Just start with your introduction, and you can take it forward, sir. Thank you.
Hi everyone, teachers and students, welcome. So I'll just give a quick introduction about myself before we start the session. So my name is Umar Yaqub Solanki, and I have around 14 years plus years of expertise in the training domain, and I've trained various candidates on different variety of technologies, starting from the C programming, going on till advanced programming, till Java Spring Boot and front-end technologies such as React JS. Okay, and I've trained around 10,000 plus students worldwide across, spanning across various institutes and colleges and prominent institutes, if I can name some, such as IIT Roorkee, Great Learning, XLR, and IT Veda.
Umar, sir, I think there is some network disturbance. So, dear student, just a minute. So, there is some network disturbance at the sir's end. So, let's join back and we'll start.
Yes, Amar sir. There was some light issue at my end because I'm sitting in the dark right now. So, was I audible for the introduction part?
Yes, yes.
Yes. So I'll just share the content now as to what list of topics we will be covering in the forthcoming sessions. Okay, so this, as you guys know, this is a data structure and algorithm mastery session with Java, and a primary motive and objective of conducting these sessions are so that we can help the candidates who will be appearing for the jobs to ace their interviews, because it's become a norm recently that top-notch product-based companies, they ask a lot of questions in the first round based on data structures and algorithms. So if you have a good understanding of that, it becomes very easier for us to crack the first round of interview. So the topics which I'll be covering in these 30 hours, starting from the introduction as to what is data structure algorithm, what is the asymptotic notations and time and space complexity calculations. Then we have some built-in classes in Java, which helps us to work with data structures such as the collection framework. What is the big O notation? How do we measure the time complexity of an algorithm? Then lots of questions are asked on arrays and strings in the interview. So you'll be given a scenario-based question, a word problem, and you'll be asked to, so that word problem will need the understanding of arrays, and at times they might ask you to solve some program using strings. Okay, so this will be working on arrays and strings also in these sessions and try to solve some uh, typical question which they ask, like finding the sub of an array maximum, and in strings they will ask us to find the most repeated character and the nth repeated character. Such questions are very, very, very common in the interview round. Then we'll go to the searching and sorting. So we'll see linear search, binary search. Sorting, we have various types of sorts. I mentioned a few over here. Okay. And then interview questions. After every module, I'll be having some interview questions asked on that particular chapter. So once I finish a chapter, I'll share some interview questions, some cheat code, which you all can refer if the question comes from this chapter in the interview. Then recursion, linked list. Okay, so I'll be using singly linked list, doubly linked list, circular linked list, stacks and queues, trees and graphs. Okay, and then we'll have in the last few hours of our program, we'll have some mock interviews and some advanced topics we'll cover. Okay, and I'll give you tips and tricks as to, because I'm looking at the question, which of the data structure we should use to solve that particular program. Okay, so this was the roadmap which I have devised for you guys for the forthcoming sessions. So this will be a 30-hour session starting from today. Okay, I hope I'm clear with the content, guys. If anyone has any concerns, queries, they can raise their hand or just put it on the chat. And I'll be switching to the chats randomly and replying. Just give me some time. So very frequently, I'll be visiting the chats and replying. Okay, so whatever queries you all have, those who have joined over YouTube or those who have joined from Zoom can send in their chats across. If it's a technical question, I'll answer. If it's something about the management and enrollment and registration link and attendance, then Amar sir will reply to you. Okay, I hope this makes sense. So let's get going without wasting much time. So to understand data structures, Java has some predefined classes which it has arranged in a chapter called as collections. So who among us, there are 300 of us over here, has command over the collection framework or has worked on the collection framework previously? I was told that there will be a group of third year and second year students from Mallarity College who will be joining the sessions. So I guess in your fourth semester or sixth semester till now, these topics should have been covered in your academics. So can you all just send me on the chat as to whether you all have studied collection frameworks using Java? You can see, reply on the chat, guys. those who joined through Zoom or those who joined through YouTube. I'm getting the answer. Okay, Revant has replied, collection framework has not been done. So before jumping to the data structure, so what I'll do is I'll split each session into two halves, depending on the topic. In the first half, we'll discuss the topic, and the second half we'll solve some questions. So we'll refer to the lead code. Okay, I guess you're all aware of this website. So this is used for aptitude exams by various corporates. In fact, most of the corporates, they use lead code as the first round interview. So we'll pick up questions from each topic from lead code. So question on arrays from lead code, question from strings. Okay, so in the first hour, I'll try to explain the topic. And in the second part, we'll try to solve questions from lead code based on that particular topic which you've covered in the training. Okay. So as today is our first day, let's start with, I wanted to discuss collections, but when we'll start with maybe linked list or stack and queue, that time I'll do a little bit of division of collection with you all. Now let's start with the basics of arrays. So array-based questions are very common in the interview. So there is one question based in lead code. Okay. So let me open up my paint screen for you guys. So simple question they ask. And at times the complexity does increase. So if this is my array, and if I store some numbers in this array, okay, let's say I store some 5 numbers in this array. Okay. And then this question is very commonly asked. Okay, this is one of the first few questions mentioned on lead code. So those who are following lead code and practicing on them will be aware of this question. So if I give you an array, okay, a random array with random values, okay, and then if I give you a number, so let's say if I give you a number 120. So which two numbers from this array forms the sum 120, you have to tell me. So your answer should be, in this case, your answer should be 20 and 100. Yeah, so these two numbers from the array form the sum 120. So quite basic level question. Okay. So as it is our first day, we'll try to gradually increase the intensity of our program. So initially, let's start with some basic level, entry level questions. So how will we try solving this, guys? Yeah, so let me open up my Eclipse. Okay, I'll be using Eclipse to do the Java programming. You all can use whichever ID you all are comfortable with. Okay. So let me make a new project. You're able to see my screen, right? So I'll name it as DSA sessions. Yeah. So I'll try to arrange data in day wise. So I'll make a package day 1, and what topic we will be covering in that. I'll mention that also. We will be making array. And then here I'll be making a class sum of two numbers. Okay. So now let's try to solve this. So you can hard code the array, or you can accept it from the user, whatever you feel comfortable. So what were the numbers? 10, 20, 40, 100, 150. 10, 20, 40, 100, and 150, right? And what would be the sum? Sum I want is 120. So if it exists, you show me the pair. And if it doesn't exist, you show me that number does not exist. So if I try to give a number as 200, so are there any numbers, two numbers forming sum of 200? No. So you can say no pair exists. So this should be your output. So what happens on lead code? They give you a vast variety of inputs, and your algorithm should work for all the inputs. So you should get all the green ticks. Okay, I hope you all are aware of that, how lead code works. Okay, so let's start with that. Okay. So now how will we go about it? See, there can be many ways of solving this. So you should always try to solve the program in less number of iterations. So your looping should be as minimum as possible. So let's try to solve this using various ways. Okay. So first way how we can do this is, so I will iterate this array using a nested loop. So this will be, and I will again run J++. So now I'm having a nested loop. So anybody, any guesses what would be the time complexity of this? How will I mention this algorithm in the time complexity? So if there is a single for loop, the time complexity of your algorithm you can mention is O of n. Okay, if it's starting from 1 and going to the number, you can say its time complexity is O of n. This we call as linear time complexity, right? But if you have one for loop inside the other for loop, and both are running from 1 till the number, then such a time complexity becomes n square. Okay, so I'll just write square over here. I don't know, we'll write 2 over here, and that you can call as your quadratic time complexity. So, and time complex O of n square actually will always be greater than O of n. So O, if someone answer is in O of n square time complexity, and someone's answer is in O of n time complexity, then it is understood that the one who's taking O of n square time will take more time compared to the O of n. So here this algorithm will execute in how much time complexity? So whenever you will solve a particular problem, you should always justify your solution based on the time complexity also. You just cannot solve the program and just get the output. So examiner is more concerned as to how fast the output is being come. Okay. So we need to generate the output also, keeping an eye on the time complexity. So now what will I do? I will check if the ARR of I plus ARR of J is equal to sum. I will sys out. I will display the pair, right? I will display this. So I'll say ARR of I plus comma plus ARR of J plus. Okay. And if I run this code now it will give me two numbers. It is showing me both 20, 100 and 120 both. So I'll put a condition. This should be there. And let's say ARR of I should be less than ARR of J. So in this case now, I should get only one output. Okay, lights come here. So this is lights is flickering over here. Yeah. Second light has just come. Switch my hotspot. Okay. Now, how will I display if I have a number which does not exist? So if I have 220, I don't see two numbers forming a sum of 220. So now, no output. So I wanted to display no pair found. And how will we do that? So what we can do is we can take a flag variable. So in such cases, we can use a flag variable. Once you have got the result, you can set the flag to 1. Okay, and then you can break the loop. No need to go any further. Because you have already got the result, we'll break the loop. And then you can come outside the for loop and check the value of the flag. So the flag remains 0 from start to end. So if I have got the pair, the flag value has been modified. If the flag value does not modify, means I have not got the pair. What will I say out? No pair. And I'll got it. Now I get no pair. Okay. And if I enter 170, 170, do we have 170? Yes. So yes. Getting it, guys? So these are sort of basic level questions which will help you all. Yes, ma'am.
Just one.
Yes. So now you all try this question and see what output you all get. So I hope you all have installed Java and you'll have Eclipse installed. So I'll try and then you all can also solve such questions. This is one of the questions of array which I had shortlisted for you guys. Maybe we can have some more questions on arrays. Okay. But now the issue is if you submit this code and the interview asks what is the time complexity, you will say the time complexity is O of n square because I'm using a nested for loop. So now if the interviewer says that I want this to be done using one single for loop. Now can you do this in one single for loop? So there you will have to use collections. So let me brief you all about the collection framework in Java. Very, very important and very widely used. Okay, so let me know once you all are sharing my paint screen. Let me know once you see my paint screen. Is my paint screen visible to everyone? Now, how we can achieve the same using one single for loop? For that, we need to learn the collection framework in Java. So this has lots of data structures, ready-made classes inside. Okay. This was the agenda for day one, collection framework in Java. So this is a vast collection of various interfaces and classes. So at the top, we have a interface called as iterable. So remember this. Whatever I'm drawing in black is an interface. And now I hope you all are well versed with these terms, interface, classes. Anyone who's not done the basic OOPS programming, anyone over here who's not done basics of OOPS programming in Java and doesn't know these jargons, what is an interface, what is a class. So whatever I'm drawing in a sharp black color rectangle is a interface. So from one interface, we have another interface called as collection. Now these are two interfaces. Okay. And one interface can extend from another interface. That is called inheritance. So the black line I am calling as extend. That is inheritance. Okay. Black line I am calling it as extends. Then from this interface collection, there are few child classes. Child interfaces are there. Okay, very widely used. They are list, set, and queue. Try to understand it. So they all extend from the collection interface. Now there is a reason behind segregating them into various categories. So these are all interfaces, and now the reason behind separating them into list and set is, I'll just hide the difference over here between list and set. So in list, first thing, duplicates are allowed. Those who have done Python, they might also know that in list duplicates are allowed. In set, duplicates are not allowed. So set only contains unique elements. Second difference between list and set is list preserves the order of insertion. Preserves the insertion order. So the order in which the elements are added, list will preserve that order. It will also preserve the element plus to also preserve the order. Set does not preserve the insertion order. So set will not preserve the insertion order. It will preserve the element, but at which place the element is there, that we do not know. That we cannot guarantee in a set. The element is guaranteed, but the position is not guaranteed. So that is your set. So you can say it does not preserve the insertion order. Third, in a list, you can have multiple nulls. Multiple null objects are allowed in a list. But when it comes to a set can have only one single null object. Only a single null object is allowed when it comes to a set. Okay. So these are the main striking differences between the list and the set interface. An interface, then you want to have some classes which implement the interface, right? So let me draw it with a blue color rounded rectangle. So this will be called as a class. I'm preparing the entire collection framework for you all. And the blue line, you can call it as implements. So a class implements an interface. A class implements an interface. Now there are various classes which implement the list interface. Very important topic this is for your interview as well as for your aptitude round. The three classes which are used are ArrayList, linked list, and vector. Okay, and then there is one more class called as stack. And stack, it inherits from vectors. So I'll draw a black line. Then we have set. When we set, the classes which we use are hash set, linked hash set, there's one more interface over here called as sorted set. That is having a class called trees. This extends here, extends here, extends here. Then we have the queue. So queue has one class which is very widely used called as priority queue. Then implemented on the queue. Then there's one more interface which is not part of the collection, but it is there in this chapter. That is called as your map. So that is a map interface. It doesn't inherit from collection, but it is equally very important. Called as a map interface. It is quite similar to the set. You can just copy the entire abstract and paste it over here. And just change the class name. So wherever there is set, just replace it with map. If there is set, just replace it with map. So you write over here map hash map link hash map tree map. Okay. So these are the various classes which we need to understand. Okay. And then all the common methods of this are put in the collection framework. So if you want to add element to the array list, you will use the add method. So if I come here into the day one, I'll make a class collection demo. And if I want to add anything, and remember guys, in Java, I'll show you one thing which we will use a lot in the development phase. Array list, let's say numbers is new array list. Okay. Now in this numbers list, you want to add any element, you use the add function. So you want to add any number, you can use the add function. Now collection by default is heterogeneous. Collections by default is heterogeneous means it is not like an array, it is not homogeneous. We can have various different type of data stored in one single collection object. I can store a number, I can store a Boolean, I can store a double, I can store all type of value into one single collection, and I can display them. If I run this, see what happened. Some of the numbers having an error where from character but edited. Shows me. So that's why it is always prescribed that whenever you're playing with collection, always try to typecast it to the type of data which you want to store. So if I want to store numbers, then I will say I want to store integer. Use the integer wrapper class. Now see, it is throwing an error that you cannot store the other type. So now I have to be very cautious. And now I can only store integers. So always while playing with collection, always typecast the collection into what type of data you want to store. Now if I run this code, I've got this data. So add is a function. And this function add is in the parent collection interface. So all the methods which are there in the parent, this collection interface, all the methods which are in this interface, they get inherited and can be used by any of the collection classes. So one of them is add. And we can add any object. Okay. The collection in Java is only for non-primitives. We can add any object. Similarly, you have remove. You can remove the object. So these are all methods of the collection class. Okay, so I'll just show you a list of methods. So now if I want to remove 20, so I can say numbers dot remove which object, this object. So and then when I display this, you see that there is different. Okay, so when I have a collection of numbers, it considers this as the index. So it's trying to remove the 20th index when there is no 20 index. I only have index 0, 1, and 2. So here, if I want to remove 20, I will give index as 1. So it will remove 20, and I will have 10 and 1. Okay. So as the order is preserved, I know at what location 20 is there. Had this been a collection of any other type, let's say of strings, and had it been names. Okay. So how would I do it? Names dot add Alice, then and Chris. Okay, so if I say sound the names, it will display me all the 3 names. Now, if I want to remove Ben, I have 2 methods of removing it. Either I can remove the object. This will also work. Okay. Okay, I'm doing for the names, right? This will also work. And we can also remove by the index also. This will also work. Now, if I say index 2 will remove Chris. So here I will get Alice and Ben as my output. So remove function will work in both tables. When you have, apart from integer, any other type of data you have. So add is there, remove is there. Okay, if I want to remove all the elements from the collection, I can use clear. So I can use numbers dot clear. So this will clear the entire collection. So I still had 10 and 40. Okay. So if I check over here after removing, if I check in the start, what is the size? So now if I check the size, so we have a size function which gives us the count of elements in the collection. So what is the size of the collection right now? So size will be 3, right? When I remove 1, what is the size? Size will be 2. And when I clear it, means everything is removed. And now when I check the size, it will be 0. Okay. So if I comment out all this remaining part and I run this code, we will get answer as 3, 2, and 320, yes. Okay. So add, remove, size. Okay. Then we also have a method called contains, which we can check using which we can check does the collection have this object or not. Okay, so you have understood remove and clear. I'll just comment that out also. So now my question is, if I say sysout one second, I'll be back. Just give me a minute. So now in my list, if I have 10, 20, and 40, and if I say numbers dot contains 20, what will be the output? True or false? Does my numbers collection contains 20? Output will be true. So save this, if I run this, you will see it will give you a true. So this is what I wanted to use in my this program. So I can do the same program now, and okay, instead of using an array, I could have used the array list. So what I can do is now instead of using an array, I can use an array list, and we can have the parent reference, and we can point it to a child class object in Java. So you can have the reference of the parents, and then you can use arrays dot as list, and you can pass this entire list. And import it by using Control Shift O. Okay, and you can now give the list name as ARR. Okay, so now ARR is not an array; it's an array list. Sum is 70, flag is 0. Now, what will I use over here? Any guesses, guys? To check how many elements are there in the collection. What do we have? So these things you should be very particular with. Which method will I use over here? Those who are available can put the answer on the chat, guys. So I will now say till the size, right? Now, as I said, we'll do that using one single for loop. So now I will try to do this in the time complexity of O of n. So here, if my I is 0, then what is my number 1? So I'll say my number 1 is, so to get data from the collection, we can use the get function. Okay. So if I want to display the first value at index 0, I can do like this. Sysout numbers dot get, and then the index. Which index? 0. What will this display me? This will display me 10. Is there any problem over here? So always look for a red color dot. There's a red dot over here. So it is restricting us from running this. So we have to run this file. Proceed. See, it is saying element at index 0 is what? 10. 10 is showing over here. If I take one more number and I add it over here, then now what will it show me? At index 0, 99, right? So you get any value, use the get function. So what will I do over here is I'll do ARR of get of I. So in my first iteration, what is in 10? What is in num1 now? Num1 has 10 because I have used get of I is 0. So to complete the set of 170, what do I need? I need 160. So I'll say num2 equals to sum minus num1. So what is in num2 now? Num2 is 160. Now search, do we have 160 in this list? So how will I check that? How will I check that? Do I have 160 or not? Contains, right? So now I will check if my ARR dot contains num2. If it does contain num2, then I will display this. If it contains num2, I'll display. So I'll display num1 and I'll display num2. And I'll set the flag to 1 and I'll break the loop. Okay, and no need for this extra. Yeah. So if my loop contains 60, I'll display it, break, and no, sorry, if the flag remains 0 till the end, not found. So now let's check 170. So once does anyone form 170? No. Yeah, 170 is being formed, right? 20 and 150. And does anyone form 270? No. So this is much better solution compared to array. So you can use ArrayList. You can reduce the time complexity. Okay. And now only one single for loop I've done. And I can say this is using time complexity of n. Right? So I hope you have understood the question and understood a basic overview of how to use collections in your questions when asked. Right? So we're done with the first collection class ArrayList. Now let's take a 5 minutes reviewer. Now I'll be back in around 5 minutes and I'll explain about the remaining collection class objects, classes, and how we can use them in which particular scenario. Okay. If you all have any questions, you can put it on the chat. YouTube and Zoom both. Yes, guys, I'm back. So I hope this base is suiting you guys. Okay, if you all have any, there's some message down here. Okay, you want to see the sum of numbers one? Yeah, so let me share it with you. This is the sum of numbers one. So just go and check the chats of the YouTube guys. If they are understanding also. Understanding also. Okay, there's a request on YouTube. I'm reading. Sir, you're going so fast. Okay, so see, I was into the assumption that you all are engineering students. Okay. And this all topics has been covered. The hoops concept and collections has been covered in your curriculum. So that's why I was into the assumption that you all are.
Umar sir, so I think your YouTube sound is on. So we are getting the dual sound. Can you please on the YouTube sound?
Has been covered in your curriculum. So that's why so I'll try to pace the session accordingly now. I'll try to go slow and steady. The main purpose is that we should understand the concept. That is what is the prime objective, and when such questions come in the interview, you should be able to crack it. Okay, so I'll try to. So let me take one more use case there of an array-based question, and okay, let me. Okay, so let me give you all one more array-based question. Let's see how good you all can solve this. So if I ask you all that store 5 numbers in an array, okay, and show me the digit counts of the number. So if you store 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5, 4, and so I want you to display me the digit count of each number. So yeah, I want you to say number 1 has 4 digits. Number 2 has 2 digits. So how do we do this program? Number 3 has 5 digits. So let's try to do it by the various possibilities which we have. And then I'll try to increase the intensity in this question only. We'll try to add more flavors. So this is the output I'm expecting for this data set. This is the input. The output I'm expecting is this. Number 1 has 4, number 2 has 2, number 3 has 5, number 4 has 3, and number 5 has 1. So let's try to do this array based question. Yep. Out of array, we can directly take, no need for accepting from user. Directly we can take over here. And what are the numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. 8, 7, 5, 1, 3. 3, 4, 5. And 1. So how will you do this, guys? So one of the ways would be that we also have an enhanced for loop, right? So we can take one variable at a time. So in my first iteration, what is in n now? In my first iteration, n has 123, okay? As I had showed you on the try run, we should always try run the application, okay? So in which iteration, which variable is having what value? What is the value of n now? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So now what we will do, so we have one, okay. So there are two machines in programming. One machine is mod 10 and one machine is divide by 10. One machine is mod 10 and one machine is divide by 10. Mod 10 machine, if I pass anything to the mod 10 machine, it will give me the last digit of that number. So if I pass to it 1, 2, 3, 4, what will this machine give me in return? It will give me 4. So mod 10 always gives you the last digit. And divide by 10, it will itself eat up the last digit and give you the balance. So if I say 1, 2, 3, 4 divide by 10, this machine will eat up the last digit by itself, and whatever is left, it will give it to you. So this will give you 123. Right? So if I pass 7, 6, 8, 5 mod with 10, what will it give you? 5. And if I pass the same number 7, 6, 8, 5 divide by 10 will give you what? Right? So once I have got my number 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'll run a while loop. While my n is greater than 0, I will take an integer counter, initialize this counter to 0 over here. And while this number, so now what is in n? So what is in n now? N has 1, 2, 3, 4. So how will you read this? Read while as is. Is. Read the variable name with the variable value. So you would say is 1, 2, 3, 4 greater than 0. Answer will be true. I will come inside and I will increment the count. So now we have one more variable called as count. Initial value was 0. Counter plus plus. Counter becomes 1. I'll declare it over. my counter. Initial value was 0. Now when I incremented it, counter became 1. And now 4, 1, I have read 1 digit, I will cut the 4. How will I do that? I will do n equal to n divided by 10. So now what is n divided by 10? 1, 2, 3, 4 divided by 10 will give me what? 1, 2, 3, 4 will give me 1, 2, 3. I'm showing 1, 2, 3 back in n. N will again have what? 120. Again, I will go up and check. Is 1, 2, 3 greater than 0? Answer will be true. I'll increment the counter. Counter becomes 2 and n will become again divided by 10. It will become 2. I'll go and check. Is 12 greater than 0? Answer will be true. I'll increment the counter by 1 and n will become now 1. I'll go and check. Is 1 greater than 0? Answer is true. Increment the counter becomes 4. Now n becomes 0. And when the loop will break, I will come and display the value of the counter. So at this point of time, what will I do? So the first number has 4, 2, 5, 3, and 1. So if I run this code, it will display me. It will display me 5, 2, 4, 4, 2, 5, 3, 1. 4, 2, 5, 3, 1. But I wanted the output in this format, right? Number 1, number 2. So what to do? So instead of using this enhanced for loop, let me use a traditional for loop. Integer I equals to 0, I less than ARR of ARR dot length and I plus. And then let's store each character. So now what we can do is, let's take a integer n equals to ARR of I. So now here my I value is increasing from 0 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I can take that string over here, which I mentioned. Number 1 has. So I can now say number 1. 1 is with whom now? 1 is with whom? Has counter digits. So number 1 is with whom? I. So right over here, I plus 1. Number 1 has 4 digits. Okay, number Number 1 has 4 digits, number 2 has 2 digits, number 3 has 5 digits, number 4 has 3 digits, number 5 has. So if you need the index number of that element, then it is better that we go with the traditional for loop rather than the enhanced for loop. Okay. I'm saving all these programs and I'll share the GitHub repo with you all, and you all can practice these programs from there. Okay. Basic array-based program we are trying to do today. Okay, try to solve this, and if you are having any issues, you all can share it on the chat over here. Is this understood, guys? Or is this too fast or too slow for you guys understanding? You all can put it on the chat so that I can pace my sessions accordingly. If I'm too fast, I'll slow down. And if you all feel that it is too slow, I'll increase the intensity. You all can directly send the message to me on the chat. On the Zoom chat, the message directly comes to me. I can read it in private. Yes, guys. Any comments, feedbacks? Let me check the review and comments on YouTube and check. I just switched to YouTube to read the comments as to what students are sending over there. Okay, I got one more review. It is a little bit fast. Sorry. See, I'm trying to go as slow as possible for you guys to understand. So just that those who have a OOPS background in Java, they will try to understand things a bit faster. So those who are attending sessions, my request to such candidates will be that first we brush up the Java OOPS concepts once. So that will help us tremendously. Because these sessions are targeted for data structures and algorithms. So if I start visiting OOPS concepts over here, it will not serve the purpose of our topic. So, okay, now let me try to make this also a bit more interesting. That you store 5 mobile numbers over here. Okay, random mobile numbers you can store. Now, as this is not out of the range of an integer, I will take it as a long. Okay, so I'll take it as a separate class so that we don't disturb this. So I will say digit count. I'll copy it and paste it. Digit counts 2. So you store the 5 mobile numbers arrays of what type? Long. So type the capital L after every number. And now just enter any random numbers. These are random mobile numbers. Now I want you to count the number of odd digits and even digits in each mobile number. So let's take the first mobile number. How many odd digits? 9 is odd, 1 odd, 2 odd, 3 odd, 4 odd, 5 odd, 6 odd, 7 odd. So first mobile number has, so you have to display output like this. Mobile number 1 has 7 odd digits and 3 even digits. So mobile number 1 has 7 odd digits and 3 even digits. Now how will we do this? And likewise, I want this to be done for the entire 5 numbers. I want the output like this. Mobile number 2 has whatever, okay? Whatever X, Y, Z, I don't know. That will calculate and show for all 5. So try. I give you all 5 minutes. You all try. Those who have done can post on the chat. Else I will try. Okay, so I will try to make it a more programming based discussion, that we are trying to do a lot of programming rather than just covering theory part. So because we need to prepare for the interview, right? As the topic, you have to ace the interview. So the first round of interview will be a technical round of programming. So you have to be comfortable with writing programs. So I give you all 5 minutes. Let's see who can write this code. Else after that I will do. So try. anyone's try to attempt the question. Okay, so the template will be more or less the same. The question looks quite similar in nature in this. So as I want to display number one, number two, number three, then what do you think I should use? The enhanced for loop or the traditional for loop? I'll do the traditional for loop. Okay. And now I will take each number in a variable. So that will be a long counter is 0 while it is greater than 0. So what is it n now in the first iteration? The first iteration n has. Now what I'm checking is this greater than 0, answer is true. Okay, so dry run should be comfortable with your dry run. I'll delete everything. I'll delete this. Who are coding with me can share their code on the chat. Okay. So now I need two counters, right? Odd counter and even counter. So I'll say odd counter equals to 0. And I need even counters. And I'll initialize both of them to 0 in the start. Very good. Revati has set the answer. Very good, Revati. Absolutely correct. So I want like the students to participate and do the programming parallelly with me. But eventually in the interview, you will have to do the programming. So I initialize both the counters to 0 and my n has the first number. Okay. So yeah, what will I check now? I'll have odd counter which slides to 0. And I have even counter also which slides to 0. What are they? So my first number is over here. Now I extract the last digit of this first number. What is that? 3. So how do I extract the last digit? I showed you, right? Why? So I take an integer r variable also, remainder. And I say r equals to n mod with 10. And this should be typecast to an integer, right? Typecast to an integer. Now what is r having 3? So now I need to check what is the value of r. What is the type of r? Is it odd or even? So I will check if r mod with 2 gives me 0. There it is, even. I'll increment which counter? I'll increment the even counter. Else I'll increment the odd count. And n divided by 10 will take the next number. So what is an r now in the first iteration? 3, right? So r will have 3. So 3 mod with 2, does give me 0? No. So my odd counter increments to 1. My odd counter increments to 1. And then my n again reduces to 1 minus 1 number, 1 digit less. So n becomes this. Again, I will check. Is this greater than 0? Is this number greater than 0? True. Okay. And now I'll extract the last digit. Last digit will be 2. So what will come into R? R will have 2. Then 2 mod 2 will it give me a 0? Yes. I'll increment the even count now. Even count also becomes 1. So like this, the loop will keep on iterating, and after each, I will display the output in this format, right? So how will we display it? Okay, so like this, you have a see if you have the template ready with you, so you can use string dot format function. String dot format, and you're formatting this string. Okay. Now whenever I have this, I'll put a percentage D. I'll put a percentage D. I'll put a percentage D. Now the first percentage D is number 1. 1 will come from where? I plus 1. So put that over here. I plus 1. Comma. As percentage D odd digits. That will come from where? Odd counter. Comma. And third percentage even digit. That will come where? From even count. Like this, you can format your string also. How we did over here? How we did here? Plus this becomes a bit tiring. This is not good practice that you keep on doing plus and this and that. So good practice is you can use the string dot format. So I'll say mobile number percentage D. First value is where? I plus 1. I value is 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. As percentage D odd counter, percentage D even count. Let me save this. And let me run this code and check. So I get the desired output. See, I've got the desired output. 7 odd, 3 even, 7 odd, 3 even, 4 odd, 6 even, 6 odd, 4 even, blah blah blah. Like this. I'm able to get the code. Right, guys? Well, understanding this. Okay. Deepti, you also try using the format function and check now. So many concatenation, not advised. So better we can use a string dot format function and send me your code. Others also, I'm keeping the code open over here. You all can also try to execute this code and see if you are successful. I'll try to fit the entire code in one frame. I will try. In between, I will give you time to practice and ask your doubts and queries. Those who are practicing, and those who have any concerns will text their queries to me on the chat. Yes, guys, attendance has been posted by Amar sir. You can mark your attendance also. That you'll get the certificate and try to do the programming also parallel. Okay. Basic array based questions we are trying to solve over here. Now to this, if I add a flavor that if both the numbers are count of both are same. So let's say if it is 5 odd and 5 even, then you should say it is a neutral number. Okay, that you can just say neutral number. And if the odd is greater, let's say 6 odd and 4 even, then you will say it is a odd bias number. And if they are more even, if it is 4 odd and 6 even, then you say even bias. So how will you do that? So to the output, we need to add these parameters also. So to the output, the output which has come over here now, I want to add these parameters also. Will we do that? So this is the output we have got. So 1, 7 odd and 3 even. So what is it? Odd bias number. So write like this. 7 odd and 3 even. Odd bias. 4 odd and 6 even. Even bias. 6 odd. What? So we have to write all this. Sir has shared the attendance sheet, attendance link. Please mark your attendance, everyone. So odd bias number, odd bias number. This also I need to add. How will we do this now? So we'll come to the code and then after this while loop is done, we will check for the after displaying this, we are going to display, right? We'll check over here. If odd count is greater than even counter, going to extra brackets. Directly then display. Times. Else if S and else the neutral. It is showing on the next line. It is showing on the next line. So don't add a print ln, just add a print over here and add some space over here. Okay. So number one is of 7 odd digits, 3 even digits, and it is a odd bias number, odd bias, even bias, odd bias. So like this, try to play around with an array and try to solve problems related to your arrays. Okay. Try to take more questions. Start from the difficulty level 0 and gradually try to increase the difficulty level. So within a month, you will see the difference that you are able to grasp and understand complex programming questions also and try to crack them. Okay. So let me now create a GitHub repository for you guys and share all the code. For day wise, I will be sharing all the code onto the repository. You can practice the code from there. Okay, I'll just prepare a repository. I'll share the link with you all on the Zoom chat. If you have any questions, you can just text me the questions and queries. So I'll name it as DSA Mastery with Java. If you have any concerns, questions, you can paste on the chat. Meanwhile, I'm preparing the repository for you guys. Okay. I will share the link for the repository and I will follow this pattern on a daily basis. Whatever code I'm doing, I will share with you all. Have you guys worked on Git before? I'm just preparing the GitHub repository for you guys and pushing all the code on the repo. Okay? Just give me some time. I'll share the link with you all. You can practice. Okay, just hang on. We need some time to create the repo. Once I push all the code onto the repo, I'll share the link with you all. Okay. So you can use that link to practice whatever codes I have written. You can see those codes straight away on the GitHub. Okay, I'll take some session also of how you all can use the GitHub. And you all can push your codes to the GitHub repository. Amar sir, please share attendance link. One candidate is asking. Sir has shared it many
Yes, sure, sir. I will share.
Question. Question says that obviously the teacher for the next
I have named the repo data structure algorithm mastery with Java. Okay, DSA mastery with Java. I'm just sending the code to your. Yes, guys, I've shared you all the link of the GitHub. Okay, and I'll just brief you all as to how you all can access the data. So, you can just go to github.com and just punch that link, and a repository will open of this type. Okay, and in that we'll have all our dates. So go to the SRC day one, and you will see all the files over here. So whichever file you want to, we wish to see. Okay, let me add the collection framework diagram which I made. Let me add this also. Yes, I'm now adding the paint diagram. So I'll just save it so that we have all the diagrams also. So let me push this also onto the GitHub. Yes, guys, I have also pushed the diagram which I'm drawing on the paint also. If you can see my screen, I'll show it to you all. If we just upload, just refresh this folder over here. I have made a folder called diagrams. In this, I have made this diagram. Okay, so if I click over here, it will open up over here. So you can even download this. You can also download all the files from here. So go to SRC and SRC day one. So likewise, I will make folders for all the days. Just go to the repo and see if you are able to understand it. I will able to navigate it properly. If no, then let me know. Yes, Amar sir. I guess I've shared all the content also, and there is no queries.
Okay, ठीक है sir. Thank you.
That's what we can end the session.
Sure. So, dear students, I shared the attendance link in the chat box. So, I hope everybody mark. If not, I'm sharing it once again. So, please mark your attendance. We'll be there for next 1 or 2 minutes and we'll wind up for the day. And our next session will be on Monday. So, we'll see you on Monday sharp at 7 o'clock. So, Saturday, Sunday, there will be no any session. Thank you.
Okay, Amar sir. Then bye, guys. Have a nice weekend. Take care.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, sir. Okay. Thank you so much, students, once again for joining the session. We'll see you on Monday. So, till the time, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and bye bye. Have a nice day.